So iZotope has released a new reverb, and I know what you're thinking, like, aren't we already oversaturated with reverbs? Like, there's way too many of them, but this one is a bit different. And I actually think it's their first reverb that they ever released, but I'm not really sure because I only use Ozone and sometimes RX from iZotope, but it's actually really, really good, especially for the price. So let me roll the intro and let's talk about it. Alright, so I already fiddled with this reverb like an hour ago, but my PC died and I lost the recording, so this is not going to be my initial reaction. I do have some findings, I do have some thoughts, and I'm going to share them with you after I tell you what this reverb can actually do. So currently this reverb is like $50, and I don't know if it's on sale right now or like if it's discounted or like if that's the price that you're going to pay in like a couple of months from now. But what I can tell you for $49 or $50, it's actually pretty good. Now, the whole point of the reverb is having. So I'm just gonna solo this vocal here.
Through mad different phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay.
So it basically has Soothe integrated into it. And up until now, I used to either duck the reverb by sidechaining a compressor after the reverb, but this is different. Like, yeah, you can do it with a multiband compressor. Yes, you can also do it with Soothe. But it's really nice to have this in a plugin itself. And we're just going to listen to it on a solo vocal, on a rap solo vocal for now. And afterwards, I'm going to skip to the chorus where I sang the chorus itself. And then we're going to try it on the drums. But I really dig what it does on the ambient setting on the rap vocals. Because, like, as you can see, it's like a decay of 2 seconds. And it doesn't really make a mess of your vocal. So let's listen to it again.
Through mad different phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I pour my heart in this music, said all I...
Let's listen to it in a context of the whole song.
Through mad different phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I pour my heart in this music, said...
Alright, you can probably barely hear it, but it's there. Let me just overemphasize it.
Through mad different phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste.
Alright, so just as a reference, let's do the same, but with the Pro R and a C2 as the sidechained compressor, because I already have that enabled because I already mixed the song, and you can see it in my last video where I mixed the vocals only using Fat Filter plugins. And let's hear out Pro R on the same setting basically, and it's going to be ducking with a little bit of a help by C2. So let's hear this, and we're going to compare the Aurora to what we hear right now. So continue. All right, there we go.
Phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's...
Like, it's obvious that it's not the same.
Sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't shed the hurt. Till I...
Even though the decay rates and everything is set the same, like even the pre-delay, I set it to 10 milliseconds like on the Aurora, but the Aurora just sounds better. So let's try the other settings. So this is whole.
Through mad different phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste.
Room.
I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14.
Room actually sounds pretty nice, although it's a bit, I don't know, it has like a metal sound to me, but it's not that bad.
Find my way.
It's really usable.
But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste.
Nice. That was chamber. Now we're going to check out plate.
But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't.
All right. We already heard ambience, and then the cathedral setting.
But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't shed the hurt, till I let it spill through this pen and let this music cure. There's no silence.
All right, so the tone setting can really change the character of the reverb. So let's try ambience again, but let's fiddle with the tone setting.
But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't.
And again, we can hear that like high mids that for some reason remind me of, I don't know, metal tin cans. So I don't like it when it's set on bright, but on dark, it's really good. It's
but
actually
think the hardest
really good.
part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't shed the hurt, till I let it spill through this.
Let's see what happens when you like unmask it completely and put it on bright.
Find my way, but think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left.
It's okay. It's just okay. I'm not really digging it. I wouldn't really go and like use the bright setting, but sure. On the other hand, you have like these settings for the compressor, for the spectral compressor that is working here. So you have the unmask. I guess it's just like percentages or whatever, attack, release, and then sensitivity. Sensitivity comes in handy if you're only using like a single reverb and there's like a bunch of different things that are happening and you don't want them to poke through. And on top of that, what I always appreciate on a reverb is filter section, so you can filter out the reverb itself. I don't know if this is like on the input or the output. I'm not sure how it's set up, but it sounds good.
Phases and mazes to find my way. But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a year before he died, he heard my first verse. 14, lost and broken, I couldn't shed the hurt, till I let it spill through this pen and let this music cure. There's no solace in closed eyelids. I only think about it once in a while, I let it go, honest. Had to rewind it, to be reminded that every time I throw this words at this mic,
The last thing, obviously, is the reverb setting, and that's like...
But think the hardest part's admitting that I'm not okay. I poured my heart in this music, said all I had to say, and now I'm finished venting, so...
Basically the mix, but if you click on solo reverb, you're using this as a mix knob.
And so what I'm left with is time to waste. I got this gift from my dad, sometimes it's more a curse. Started about a...
Alright, so my first impressions were, because this is not the first time that I'm actually using it, because as I said, my recording just failed because my PC died for some reason. But I would love to have more things here. Like having whole room chamber plate, ambience, cathedral is nice, but I would like to have like a spectral reverb. I would love to have like a shimmer reverb, a chorus reverb, like a modulated kind of a reverb. So that's what I'm missing. The other thing that I'm missing is like I cannot rescale the plugin itself like at all, which like my monitor is way back and I can barely see the controls, so that's not good. I was clicking on these things, but I didn't see it anywhere, so yeah, I don't think you can rescale it in any way. But let's try it on the chorus where I actually sang the vocals. All right, so it's gonna be the same setting, basically, the same reverb, but let's just hear it and then we're gonna fiddle with it.
Yeah.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
Yeah.
Ooh, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
All right. Cathedral, maybe?
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's try the plate.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
All right. Without it?
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And that can Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh,
I think I like plate the most for this. So let's hear it in the context of the song.
ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
All right. Without it?
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
But somehow they never do.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
But somehow they never do. And I can stay. Now the thing is, as I've said, like I would love it to have like a modulator reverb as an option. Of course, we can do it with a chorus or whatever, but it would be just nice to have a modulator reverb. You know what this reverb actually reminds me of? It reminds me of the Beatstars or the M7. I have like in this video studio, I have a Seventh Heaven plugin, which is basically an emulation of the Beatstars. And let's hear it so we can compare it to the Aurora. So this is going to be Beatstars.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
So this is basically a reverb that I constantly use on vocals because it is the most natural sounding reverb in a plugin that I know of, and it just sounds amazing. The M7 also sounds amazing, like the original Beatstars. So let's compare this to the Aurora. Basically the same setting.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, things will get brighter.
It has a similar character, honestly. It has a very similar character. Obviously, it's not gonna be the same.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
And obviously, Seventh Heaven does not have Soothe integrated into it. It does, as I remember. Yeah, it has a ducker, so you can duck the reverb with the vocal itself. But it, like the Aurora, honestly, is sounding really, really good, and it's very versatile, and it's like very, very useful to have, especially in hip hop and like R&B and stuff like that, like EDM music, where you need the vocal to be present as possible, but also you need some ambience. So last thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna try it on the drums. So let me just loop the drums. All right, so these are gonna be the drums, and let's just hear how it sounds. Room. All right. What happens if we go right? It just gives you that like digital thing that I fucking hate about digital reverbs. But all right, chamber. Honestly, all of it is really usable. I think I like ambience the most. In this reverb, I think I love ambience the most. But let's hear it in the context of the whole song. This actually sounds pretty good. Disabled. I love what it does to the drums, honestly. I simply love what it does to the drums. But I have one more idea. Just stay with me for a second. I want to try and use it on the drum track itself, because that reverb is also going to go into the parallel compression that I have running in a distressor. So let's see what happens. All right, so this is an instance of Aurora running on the drum track itself. It's a loop because I did the beat on the MPC and I completely forgot to explode the track so I can have like all the things. But in the end, like, it just worked out and I could mix it even with a loop, so it's fine. But so let's listen to this. So this is the whole like drum loop going through an Aurora and then going into a parallel instance of the distressor. So let's hear how it sounds. So this is without it. This is with it. I love it. But only if it had a modulated reverb, it would be fucking amazing. But for $50, I think it's really, really good. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. If you want to support me, the link is going to be down in the description of the video. You can also find the links to my Beatstars or to my website. If you want to contact me, if you want me to mix your song, or if you want me to make a beat for you, I can be any genre. It doesn't really matter because I did all of it. But yeah, thank you for watching again. And it's like, this was not a sponsored video, but I just like the plugin and that's it. And it's $50, so I think it's dirt cheap. And it's like, even for the ambient setting, like, well, if it was just one setting, it would be like $20 would be fine. But $50, like, for all the things that it can do, I think it's pretty good. So thank you for watching, and peace out and bye.
And I can still hear his echo coming from the meadows. You ain't gonna find no diamonds in the ghetto. Son, you gotta get though. For that you gotta let go. And you gotta let them hear your roar and your bellow. And that was